Hi, my name is Lerato Gwaniwa, and for the past 3 years, I have been creating content on social media. I have been posting content, educational content specifically, about marketing, online business, and everything that has to do with all of that. So basically, I have grown an audience of aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners and content creators as well. And honestly, a lot has happened, and I feel like we need to have a little, talk about what's going on and how we got to where we are right now. Because guess what? We are rebranding. And so I don't want to rebrand without you guys actually knowing what we were doing before and what we're going to be doing now. This is also to help you as you are working on creating your own personal brand so that you can actually start making money online, because I will be sharing everything that I actually did to get to where I am right now without wasting any more time. Let's go all the way back to 2021. This is supposed to be my first year in university, but things didn't go as planned because 2020 happened, COVID happened, and this was during the time that my passport had expired. For some context, I am Zimbabwean living in South Africa. My passport expired during 2020 and I could not renew that passport. I tried every single thing under the sun to get a new passport and it just did not work out because the offices were closed. People were scared of COVID. Okay, so nothing was happening. The whole world basically was shut down. So I didn't manage to actually get my passport on time, and that meant I could not apply for university. This was just a sucker punch, if you could say, okay, because according to my plan at the time, I was supposed to go straight to university. I actually gotten accepted for marketing at Nelson Mandela University. That's where I was supposed to go, but then because of that whole situation, I wasn't able to go, and so we didn't end up going or doing anything. And so now I was forced into a gap year. Now, with the gap year came a bit of uncertainty, because now what am I supposed to be doing during this time? So what I decided to do was that I'm going to look for a job, and that's exactly what I did. I looked for a job. But here's the tricky part, and I think it took me finally being in my gap year for it to actually click that, yeah, this is not as easy as I thought it was. Like, I mean, I understood that unemployment rate was very high, but I didn't think it was this bad, okay, until it was during my gap year. So, this is now in March of 2021, I'm about to say 2020. March of 2021, I get offered a job at this marketing company. As you can see, marketing was just, but it seems I'm just a bit blind because it took a very long time for me to realize that marketing was going to be my thing. This is me foreshadowing. Yeah. But anyway, I get a job from this marketing company. But what we're actually doing, for anyone who is in South Africa, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when you get into a store and there are people, so like salespeople that are sales representatives, if I can call them that are in the store and they want to help you open an account for the store. That's what I was doing. When I tell you, ever since I had that job, I had mad respect for those people, because when I tell you that job is painful, it is so painful. You are standing the whole day. You only get paid by commission, which is like for each person you're getting like 40 rand, 20 rand, whatever. Like, you were barely making any money, and you were standing the whole day up and down trying to talk to people, trying to convince people, trying to sell to people. Let me tell you now, it is not easy. It's not easy, okay, at all. By the way, please note, the money that you're going to be spending on transport is your own money. They don't give you money for transport. They don't give you transport itself. It's up to you to actually find your way there. You get to the store, and then from 9 o'clock, you're working all the way until 5 o'clock. You can take a break, you can sit down, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. But then the longer that you're sitting down, or the longer that you're taking a lunch, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're not on the field, you're not going to be making any money, because it's dependent on how many people you can actually sell to. When I tell you my Zulu became so good, okay, at that time, I could speak to everyone. My Zulu was the best. I kind of lost it now because, I don't speak to that many people. But trust that if I get into a taxi and I have to speak to a Zulu taxi driver, trust me, my Zulu is going to be top notch, okay? Because I'm not about to be in such a situation, okay? But anyway, so now you're learning how to sell to people while being on your feet the whole day. I did this for a week, 2 weeks, I think. I'm not so sure. And then came the problem. I don't have an ID. Everyone that was working there had an ID. I had a passport. My study visa was still proper. It was still okay. And now they wanted a work visa. I don't have a work visa, and so that means I cannot continue working. And so on the second week of me actually working, they're like, hey, I'm so sorry, but like we cannot keep you working here because you don't have a work visa, and that just complicates things, and so we have to let you go. Wow, I remember the disappointment, the anger, the frustration that I had at that time, because I did not understand anything. Like, what do you mean I need a work visa? How do I get it? What do I need to do in order to get it? Like, I was so annoyed, I was so frustrated, I was so angry. And thing is, with me, I'm a very emotional person, so I had to be like pushing back tears, because like I was working with the same people that I was working with before. I was not having to walk with them to go to the taxi rank to actually take a taxi, but they were going to work and I was going back home because, well, the job's finished. Fast forward, I think it was March or July of 2021, there is an announcement that we're going to be having 100 days of praying and fasting at church. And I'm like, you know what, what's wrong, let me just join. That was my first time I was fasting. Okay, I fast a lot of times. Okay, I'm that girl. Okay, don't worry about the fasting. Okay, that might be prompted by the fact that I might have had a problem with like my eating. Okay, I had a bit of a disordered eating, so like going for a long time without eating, easy things. But anyway, so I was like, okay, the 100 days of praying and fasting. I did not have a specific reason why I actually joined it. For me, it was just like, let me see if I can actually make it to the 100 days of praying, praying and fasting. So I was praying, fasting, so on. I didn't even know what I was praying for. I was just praying, okay, like praying in the Holy Ghost. I didn't know what I was praying for. And so we kept on going. I got to September, which was the 60th day. I remember this day so well. This was the 60th day. It was the 24th of September. I got this idea. I'm going to start a jewelry business. Why am I starting a jewelry business? Because I was getting irritated by the fact that every time that I would buy my friend like a matching necklace or like a matching jewelry thing, I'd buy from, I'm not gonna name names because I don't want problems, but I'd buy it from somewhere and then it would rust. It would rust and I'll get so irritated because it was only just like a few months and then all of a sudden it's changed color. And that irritated me so much. And I was like, I'm going to actually start my own jewelry business where my stuff won't rust and my things won't, like, you know, it will last. That is what I was going for. And so the 24th of September, I remember this day specifically because we have Reach Out South Africa at our church on this day every year. And so I tell my friend, I'm like, I have a business idea. I'm going to be starting this business. Do you want to start it with me? She's like, nah, I'm not interested in business like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start this business alone. Sure. How I'm going to start the business, where I'm going to get the products, I have absolutely no idea. And that was the last day even that I fasted. After the 60th day when I got that idea, that was it. Then I didn't continue with the praying and fasting. And now came the issue of, okay, so how do I start this business? So I went on YouTube. I never used to be the type of person who would learn anything from YouTube. Like, I watched dramas on YouTube. That's what I did a lot. I still do that, okay? But I watched a lot of dramas from YouTube, and that's what like I did the most. And so I went on YouTube and I was like, how to start a business? When I tell you it was a rabbit hole, okay? Because from then on I watched, to this day, thousands of videos. If you see my screen time, it's mostly YouTube. Not as much anymore because like I watch a lot more dramas. But you know, YouTube. I was spending so much time on YouTube learning how to start a business. Blah, blah, blah. The main problem I realized was that a lot of the people that I was learning about how to start this business were people who are in America, people who are in the UK, people who are overseas and not in South Africa. And it frustrated me because in South Africa, things are going to be different, okay? And I know this. So I was like, why is it that I'm getting advice from people that are not in the same situation I'm in, who will not understand what I'm going through? And so one of the videos that I watched told me that, you know, you need to market your business before you start. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start creating content. I told myself I'm going to start on Instagram and on TikTok. And that's what I did. So I found these like trending sounds and stuff like that. I did this video. I was doing like a pointing video. I'll show you guys on the screen. And I posted that, the same video that I posted on Instagram, I went and I posted it on TikTok. Same thing, literally the exact same thing. That was the first video I ever posted. And I kept on going. So the videos that I was creating were about like how to start a business, because I realized there weren't many people who were in South Africa that were talking about how to start a business. Like, I'm going to tell people what I'm learning. And so I did that for a very long time, and I was now sharing with people that I'm going to be starting a jewelry business. So I went from naming my account Love Jewelry, because that was supposed to be the name of the business. First rebrand that we did was when I realized that actually I was not passionate about starting a jewelry business. I wasn't as serious as I thought I was. Mind you, at that time, I've already bought inventory. I've already told people I'm going to be starting this business. I've already started making beaded jewelry. I borrowed money from my mom and bought this jewelry making kit, and I've already made this jewelry that I'm going to be selling to people. And then I realized, I don't want to start a jewelry business. I'm not interested in it. That's not what I'm passionate about. That's not what I'm interested in. Instead, I'd rather talk to people about online businesses and what business ideas, that whole thing about business. That's what I wanted to share with people. And as I went on, as I was continuing to create content, as I had now switched from the starting a jewelry business thing to now actually talking about online business and talking about business ideas, I had more and more people actually asking me, hey, can you help me with starting my own? I would love for you to coach me. I remember one specific comment where the person was like, oh, I'd love for you to coach me on how to start my business. I didn't understand what that meant at that time. Turns out that's what I ended up doing. So at some point I was like, you know what, I can do this. I can actually make money from this. How do I do that though? I'm not too sure about that. This was during the time July of 2022 was during the time when my videos are kind of blowing up and I was getting more and more views and growing an audience, and things were things were pushing up. Okay. And so I tell my audience that, hey, I'm going to be offering free strategy calls. And so what these strategy calls are just genuinely for people who have businesses but are struggling to make money or are struggling to market their business. They're just struggling, okay, with something. I'm going to help you during this call. And so I so many people book. I ended up only having 8 calls. It wasn't even that many people. I think that was the first lesson I learned, that people do not value something they do not invest in. So if someone does not give you money for something, they do not see any value in it. And that's why I had so many people canceled. I had so many people who rescheduled, and it just frustrated me. But first lesson, okay. And then I was like, okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. From the 8 people that I got on a call with, I sent out messages to 3 people, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking of creating a coaching service. I'm not too sure, I'm going to be helping you with this, your branding, how to start making money online, if you're already making money, how to then turn your followers into clients. That's what I was saying that I'm going to do. But I was very honest, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm not too sure about whether or not it's going to work out. So I can't give you any guarantee, but this is what I'm working on. And so if you're interested, please let me know. One of them actually agrees, and she becomes my first client. She is a credit repair coach. Love her to this day. I'm so glad that she was the first client that I worked with, because I loved working with her. I had absolutely no problems with her, and I think she's the reason why I kept on pushing, even when I got to a point where I had outgrown coaching. But anyway, we're getting there. So with her, I worked with her. She already had a very big following. At that time when we started working together, she had 120k followers on TikTok. She had an audience, but the problem that she was having was that her audience was not able to translate into clients, and that's what she was doing. She wanted to actually work with people, consult people on credit repairing, that whole thing. And so we worked together. I came up with this whole coaching service plan, and personally right now, with what I know now, I would have used ChatGPT to come up with the outline. But at that time there was no ChatGPT, so I just kind of had to figure out, put an outline, put things together on the go, and also get feedback from her about what she actually needs, what would be helpful to her. And I made use of that as well. And then now we were actually creating content. She was going live, and during that time that we worked together, it was a 3-month coaching program for 3,000 Rand. That was the first time I ever charged anything. I didn't even know how much I should be charging. Never had any problems with her paying. When I say she was the best first client to have, because I feel had I had the nightmare clients I've had before, I would not have continued going had that been my first client. Let me not even lie. So I'm just glad that she was a good experience. But anyway, I work with her. She ends up getting 20 clients during the time that we're actually working together. And I'm just like excited. I'm so happy.
Being a content creator is demanding, I must say. And if you really do not have a plan, I think it sometimes even gets worse. And me bumping up on Ulerato on TikTok was really a blessing for me. And I remember she was having something like a strategy call that was for free. I jumped on that. And after that, I fell in love with her. And then I took the package, which was like for 3 months, where she was really guiding me, taking me through my brand, being able to tell my story in 60 seconds, which before that, it took me forever to say, what is it that you're doing, Tando? What is it that you're all about? This is how your elevator pitch is supposed to be. This is your brand story. And those are the things that I really, got the gist of and really get to understand them when I started working with Ulerato. And the past 3 months, I think it was September, October, November 2022, has been awesome for me. And I love that she worked on my platforms where I'm present on each platform and analyzed and said, this is where we need to correct. This is where we need to fix. And the most important thing for me that I'm grateful for is me facing my fears of having a website. Because when I met with her, I was like, I'm not ready to have a website. I've been procrastinating about this for the past 3 months. And she was able to pick my brain and she was able to pull me out of that. And today I have my website. It's up and running. I'm absolutely grateful and delighted about that. I think as a content creator, one really needs that person that's gonna hold you by the hand and say, hey, this is what you need to do to get better. And I must say that ever since the product launch, which was around November 2022, I've seen an increase in the number of clients that are requesting for my services. And up to date, I don't know really what number to say, but I must just roughly say plus minus 20 clients that have signing up, not just inquiring, but signing up for the product and or the services that I'm even offering. And I think those are good results. So really, I think getting someone that's going to guide you in terms of your product, your brand story, that is really important, and it can really help you to see a difference in the number of sales and clients that are signing up for your services. Thank you so much.
Now I have a coaching offer. I have a testimonial now that I've gotten from someone, and I'm starting to slightly sell here and there and tell people that, hey, I can do your coaching, I can help you with this, coaching offer, 3 months coaching program, and and now fast forward to 2023. I got 2 other clients and I was working with them as group coaching, and I worked with them for some time. But the biggest problem that I was now having with the new people that I was working with was I'd give them the information, but there was no execution. So I'd tell them, okay, create this content. They don't create content. Or else I'd be like, okay, let's do this, but then they don't do it. Then takes us to the second lesson. I hadn't realized just how much your mindset has an impact on the work that you actually do. It took me working on myself, because I might not be talking about the self-development part of this because that's not the main thing of the video, but there was a lot of self-development. There was a lot of rewiring that I had to do in order to get to where I am right now. And I think I hadn't realized just how important the mindset part of it was, actually, in order to get my clients to do the work that they needed to do. So I was just focusing on, okay, let's do this work, without realizing that these people were not at the point where they can actually do it. They were not the type of person that creates content. They were not a content creator and did not see themselves as a content creator. And so they struggled to do something that they don't see themselves as. But now I know this, but at that time I didn't know what the problem actually was. We work together, it ends, sure. At the end of it, I'm like, okay, maybe marketing is not what I should be focusing. Maybe let me focus on actually people who want to start a business, and I can focus on them. And now I'm like, okay, I'm a business coach. And I'm changing around names at this point. At first I was a marketing coach. Then I told people I was a business and marketing coach. It was just a lot, okay? a lot of it was happening. If you want a proper documentation of seeing it in action, you can go through my TikTok. It's going to be a lot because I have posted a lot of videos at this point, but you can literally see every single realization, every single rebrand that I was doing during that time as I was trying to figure out what I was actually doing. And so I get to a point where I'm like, okay, let me work with aspiring entrepreneurs. I find this client, and with her, it's a 6 months program. Whew. When I tell you no, never have a program that's that long. I learned my lesson. We start working together. Problem starts when she doesn't have the money to actually buy the supplies to start the business that we decide to actually start. That's when everything just kind of goes downhill. She's not willing to create content. She's not buying the supplies. And we're back to square one again. Because now I can't keep teaching you stuff when you're actually not executing, because the next lessons are dependent on you doing the stuff. Again, I'm still not realizing that this is a mindset thing. It's not about the client, it's not about the work itself, it's rather about the mindset that the client actually has. So that kind of just fizzles out, because at some point she's not joining in the calls, there's a lot of rescheduling, and then it just kind of dies down. And now I am frustrated. I am just not feeling it anymore. I don't want to work with anyone, because I'm just like, this is not working. The whole coaching thing is just not going my way. I'm just frustrated at this point. And yeah, we're not doing that anymore. So I stopped coaching. I start thinking about like doing digital products and stuff like that. So I create a digital product at around 2024. Sometime in 2024, I created a digital product and I start selling that. Sold a bit, but like I wasn't really promoting it like that. Like that's another problem that I realized about myself. Like I don't promote at all. I don't promote at all. Okay, I struggle with like actually promoting my products. And I remember I was talking about this with one of the friends that I made, social media friends that I made on TikTok, and I was like, we need to actually start like selling, like proper selling, telling people what it is that we're offering them, so that they can actually buy whatever it is that we're offering. Because right now we're not doing enough to actually sign them. We're surprised as to why we aren't making money from this. What's the problem? But anyway, so I'm now selling digital products at that time. Here and there, I might get a client or like someone that I talk to, but it's really not going in the right direction. June 2024. I am now in my final year. I had started college in 2022 and I was studying engineering. Yes. And then now we are in 2024. I'm about to finish my exams, and these are the final exams. And then I need to go and look for apprenticeship, or else I have to continue. I know at this point I don't want to do engineering. It's not for me. It just does not align with who I am and what I'm doing and what I want for myself. And so it's not what I want to do. And I've made this clear. I did tell my mom that I wanted to drop out, and she said, no, we don't do that here. And so I just wanted to finish. Now the issue is I was about to finish, and then what? So my 21st birthday, August, comes up. And after that, I'm just sitting at home. September, October, my dad tells me that I need to create a CV so that he can actually help me with finding apprenticeship. And that's when I feel like my whole world is collapsing, because I know damn well I do not want to be an engineer. So what do? I'm like, okay, there's a client of mine that I was working with at that time, who I was running his LinkedIn account, and I was doing that for free because like honestly I had no problem with doing that. It was just like, it was cool, it was okay. So I was running his LinkedIn. He had told me about the director of an immigration company that he knows, and at some point I'd spoken to him sometime in like May or something, March, May, I don't remember when it was, and that just kind of faded away because we just could not find middle ground in terms of like what would be offering, how would we be working together, and so on. And then I remember, okay, so I have this person that I'd been referred to at some point, right? And I'm like, okay, let me reach out. Like, let me actually reach out to this director of an immigration company and see what I can do. So I sent him I sent him a message, and I'm like, hi, my name is, I went through your social media accounts. I'd love to actually speak to you if you're available. We finally book like a day, like a week after that. And then I get on a call. Here's the thing. When I'm getting on this call, I'm used to working with my clients where I'm asking them questions, and then later on, I'm then giving them an offer. Oh, no. I am stepping into an interview. And I am very unprepared for that interview. Okay, but I trust trust that I did well because I am a debater and public speaker. I did that all through high school. I was literally trained for 5 years, okay? And so there is no way that you can ever catch me off guard. You cannot ever ask me to give a speech in front of people on like a basic subject that I know, because like you're going to ask for like the most random stuff, but like a basic subject that I know, marketing, business, preaching even. There's nothing that preaching, please give me the verses, like don't play with me, okay? Because like I can't quote all scripture. I'm not there yet. But literally the most basic things, put me on a stage with hundreds of people and I would have no problem with actually doing it. And so when I realized that it's an interview and I'm having to sell myself, I switched the tone. And now, I'm now trying to sell myself and like paint a picture of like how it works together and so on. And right after that call, I get my job. This is in October of 2024. And end of October, I actually start working. That is me having landed my first corporate job with no marketing experience and no marketing qualifications. The only thing that I used was basically my personal brand, because the director of the immigration company, had gone through my social media accounts and looked at my channels and seen that I do create content of my own. And so I was able to use that to actually get my job. And that's how that's how we got into the whole corporate space. January 2025, I go to this event that is being hosted by Qinisile Dlamini, and she's talking about how to revive your business. And so I ask a question. Yes, I'm the type of person to go up in front of everyone and ask a question. And then I asked the question, I was like, look, this is what's going on. I'm getting clients, but they're not willing to do the work. Like, what do I do? And they were talking about like qualifying your clients and like setting expectations. And I think it was then, because right after that program ended, so many people were coming to me and asking me like, hey, can you help me with my marketing and so on? And then that's when I realized that demand is there. There is a demand for someone to help, for getting help with your marketing. Maybe the way that I'm structuring my offer just has to change, or the way that I'm doing things has to change, and the way that I qualify my clients also has to change. And so still I continue not really working with anyone at that time. I'm just creating content and stuff like that. But now there's a shift in perspective. It isn't that I just want to like now shut down my whole business completely. I'm now like, okay, I think we just need to change the way that we were doing things. Someone reaches out to me. She saw a video of mine about how to start a perfume brand, and she has a oil perfume brand of her own. She reaches out to me and she's like, hey, I would love for you to actually be a freelance creative strategist. It's the first time I'm hearing what that is. I don't even know what that is, okay? I hear freelance creative strategist. I literally had to go and search what a creative strategist actually is. And then I'm like, oh, okay, no, I can do this. Like, I didn't know what it was, but like, I can do this because I do have the knowledge. I do have the information, all the information that you need in order to actually do this. And she's like, you're going to be working for me part-time. That we ended up just working together for a week. I didn't understand what went wrong, but you know what, clients are clients. Whatever happens. I'm glad though that she came to me with that offer, because that now kind of paved the way of like, okay, what am I going to be doing from now on? There is a shift now in my content, which isn't focusing anymore on like how to start a business ideas, It's now focusing more on like day in my life, what I'm working on, what I'm doing, and so on. I'm changing myself, how I'm changing my life. My content has shifted. But the thing is, it took an extreme shift where now I wasn't creating much content really about business, marketing, and stuff like that. And yet I still love educating people about marketing. I still love educating people about online business. And so that's not something I want to let go of. And this is now where we are right now. I'm currently rebuilding or rebranding my personal brand. So the way I wanted to do it, I don't want my personal brand, or I don't want to only create content specifically on marketing or specifically on online business and that whole stuff, because I am not a one-dimensional person. I wish I was, because that would make things so much simpler. But I want to be able to document my journey. I want to be able to look back at where I was a year ago and be able to see how far I've come, and also to share lessons that I'm currently learning as I am building up, so that whoever it is that wants to get to where I would have gotten to or where I am at this point will be able to see what exact steps I have taken. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on right now. Currently, I introduce myself as a creative strategist because no, I do not want to do coaching. Coaching is very draining for me, especially the part where I have to basically hold someone's hand and they're not willing to do the job. I'm so sorry, but it's not what I want to do. I'd rather let me work with someone, let me give them all the information that they need so that they can go off and do it on their own, or else let me do the content for you. Let me be the one that's running everything for you so that I don't have to wait for you to get your act together. Okay, so this means that with the whole creative strategy thing, I do have two specific offers. First offer that I have as a creative strategist is actually a creative strategy session. So this is one session where I'm going to be sharing every single thing that you need in order to launch your business with content, or else start creating content and start being dependent on Facebook ads. And so this is for everyone that runs an e-commerce brand. So I'll be sharing every single thing that you need to do in order to start creating content that your target audience actually wants, and how to attract your ideal customer so that you can start making money in your business as soon as you launch, or else stop focusing on Facebook ads because those things are expensive. Okay, I'd rather you focus more on organic content that reaches people and can actually attract the right people. This is more of a long-term investment than a short-term let's go viral type of thing. Okay, so that's what we'll be focusing on. I am still starting out, and so it's going to be lower. So if you're still seeing this and it's not that long ago, reach out. By saying reach out, I mean like DM me on Instagram, or else you can email me. All of the details on how you can actually get a hold of me are going to be in the link in the description. But outside of that, the second offer that I actually have is a retainer program. So this means you're going to be working with me as a freelance creative strategist, where I am going to basically build a team for you. If you're not willing to be the face of your brand, you're not willing to be the one creating content, I'm going to be the one who's going to find a UGC creator for you that we're going to be working with to create content that's actually going to push sales for your business. This means I'm literally building a team from scratch, whether it is your video editor, your graphic designer, the UGC creator. I'm the one who is working with them to make sure that they actually create good quality videos in order to market your business. And so with this one, it would be a retainer program where I'm working with you monthly, and the only thing that you are really doing is like us getting on monthly strategy calls to just make sure that whatever it is that we're creating aligns with the goals that you have for your business. But outside of that, I'm actually in the process of starting a creative agency. I'm offering social media management services for corporate companies. So we're still building that. I will be documenting how exactly I am building my agency and how it's going, how the whole process is actually going. But it's something that is in the works right now, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. And as you can see, I'm becoming more and more focused on marketing because I've realized just how much I love marketing. And like I said, the foreshadowing from before, marketing is something that I feel like I have been called to do. And so we'll be seeing how this whole journey of becoming a marketer, or rather fully embracing my identity as a marketer and making this a career and using marketing as a way that I'm going to be making money online. So there's a lot that's going to be done. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that it took for us to actually get to where we are right now. And I'm so happy to have gotten here. I genuinely, thinking about it right now, like I don't think last year I could have even imagined having the opportunities that I have right now, living the life that I'm living right now. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot that we're working on. There's still a lot that is going to take for me to get to becoming the best version of myself and living my dream life. But we're getting closer and closer to doing that, okay? And I love that we're already taking steps to get to that point. And so, yeah, that's what I just wanted to let you guys know of. This is me trying to put together 3 years of my whole journey, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it inspires you to actually start on your own, even when you are confused, even when you have no idea what you're doing, even when you are still figuring it out, because you cannot get anywhere if you keep defending in your own way. Since you've watched this video till the end, I want you to go and watch the video that is about how to reprogram your mind, because like I was saying, the number one thing that you're going to have a problem with is your own limiting beliefs. You end up being the person that actually stops yourself from achieving all of these things that you want to achieve. And so I really want you to go in depth with figuring out what it is that you need to do in order to get rid of your limiting beliefs and start doing everything that it takes for you to accomplish your dreams and to become your own dream person. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you all the best with building your own personal brand. Bye.